Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my Flash episode 19 video. Also kind of like a soft crossover with Arrow, just like we had last week. I know everyone was playing up the episode 18 All-Star Team-Up episode as like the big crossover, but this was actually a really big too, for reasons that we'll get into during spoilers. So just careful if you haven't seen the episode yet. And yay for Green Lantern Pizza. Okay, so here we go, starting with top 5 WTF moments. Number 5, Cisco gives Laurel her canary cry. One of the biggest questions I've gotten all season is, will there be another particle accelerator explosion, and will Laurel get canary cry powers as a result of that? This is the answer. She's basically using tech. If you ever watch Young Justice, Canary wears the choker. Think of this as like a tech version of that. Cisco explained that it's super beefed up, so it'll be super badass. They'll probably use it before the end of the season. Because the episodes are staggered, I don't know when we're going to see this being used in an episode of Arrow. It might be like Arrow episode 22. It might even be the finale. The picture that Laurel gave to Cisco is the funniest thing in the world. He's like the biggest Black Canary super fan. Let me know which picture you think is funnier. Cisco's picture with the Black Canary or the picture of Stephen Amell, like the actor headshot they used, the glamour shot in episode 19. On to number 4. Meet Hannibal Bates, aka Everyman from the comics. If you're not familiar with the character, Everyman came around the Infinite Crisis time in the comics. Lex Luthor created a program called the Everyman Project where he gave powers to people that wanted them. It was part of this secret plot to control people with superpowers, like he could take away their powers with the push of a button. Obviously, we're not going to see Lex Luthor on The Flash, so this is just like the Flash's version of Hannibal Bates. It's interesting that he can't remember who he really is. He's changed into so many people. Also, when Harrison said that, it's meant to highlight the balance between the original Harrison Wells and Eobard Thawne inside that one body. The producer said that when the Reverse Flash sucked in all of Harrison Wells, it kind of melded their minds a little bit together. So there is some of the original Harrison Wells mind inside that body. It'll probably explain how they can defeat the Reverse Flash at the end of the season, but Tom Cavanaugh doesn't have to leave the show. That's going to get really timey-wimey. As a source of villainy, Hannibal Bates, not such a threatening villain. I think he's better for comedy. Like the Snowberry kiss, for instance. That was a really funny moment, especially with the music cues they used behind it. You knew that it was going to be a funny thing. I was actually tweeting during the episode about how it was funny that Danielle Pannenbaker didn't have like the classic slap reaction that you would expect. Like, how dare you kiss me? What's wrong with you? It was a couple minutes after it happened. It was by the time Caitlin had made it back to Barry's house and found him in the closet, cut to her slapping him to wake him up. Think of it as like a delayed slap reaction. I'm not like a huge shipper on the show, but it is funny when they sneak moments in like that. And we do have an idea of like where Caitlin and Firestorm's characters are going. So if you've seen those spoilers, just please use spoiler tags if you're going to comment on them. The real question we need to ask now is, will Harrison Wells co-opt Hannibal's services in the finale, or, before the finale? It just seems like he might release a lot of metahumans to run interference on Team Flash while he's enacting whatever his evil final plan is. On to number 3. Eddie reveals to Iris that he has been working with the Flash. This whole thing with Iris not knowing is causing more problems than it's solving. That was what that whole car escape scene was about. Iris demanded they take Hannibal to the police station because she didn't understand what a threat he was. Eddie telling Iris is just the tip of the iceberg. He hasn't explained anything yet. Iris is aware that metahumans exist. She just doesn't know the full extent of what's going on. There are 4 more episodes in the season, so I would say, by the next 2 or 3 episodes, she'll have it pretty much figured out. That doesn't include finding out that Barry's the Flash, though. That's probably going to be some other big WTF moment, and she'll probably figure it out on her own. Barry won't just take his mask off and reveal himself. If she's going to be a reporter, and the writers want us to take her as a character seriously, then logically, she should be able to do the detective work to figure out that Barry is the Flash on her own. When Candace Patton was talking about her character, she called out Lois Lane, and in Man of Steel, Lois Lane figured out that Clark Kent was Superman on her own. Really early in the movie, actually. Moving on to number 2, Team Flash finds Harrison Wells' original body. I liked how they kind of brought Quentin into the episode. Like, Joe and Quentin have this dad cop bro out moment. You would do anything to save your daughter if you could. Quentin knows something's up. He knows there's a dead body. He knows it's probably Harrison Wells. He just doesn't know the full extent of what's going on with the metahumans. And he doesn't know that Barry is the Flash. I think he knows that something really weird is going on because everyone saw his coffee rising out of the cup, but he doesn't really have the context to understand what the larger ramifications of it are. Showing Caitlyn the body too, I think won her over. For most of the episode, there was a big question as to whether or not she was going to try and side with Harrison Wells, like not believe Barry. But I think seeing the body was like the metaphorical slap in the face that she needed. And finally, my number one WTF moment, Team Flash makes it inside the Gideon computer room and Harrison Wells is inquiring with Eddie Thawne. This is like our big endgame moment. So Team Flash sees the Reverse Flash suit and sees the future newspaper, Flash Disappears in Crisis, and then over on the other side of town, Harrison Wells is slowly moving in on Eddie Thawne. So let's start with the Gideon computer room stuff. Seeing the yellow suit was a big WTF, but really I think the bigger surprise for them was seeing the newspaper from the future. They don't know who Eobard Thawne is, they don't know that he's from the future. What I think that crisis might be is it might be the Flash disappearing because he went back in time to chase the Reverse Flash to the night that his mother was murdered. That might be what that was originally from. Moving over to the police station, what is Eobard Thawne's plan for Eddie Thawne? Is he going to try and co-opt his services? Eddie right now is a good person. He is friends with Barry, very good friends with Barry and Team Flash. That means the Reverse Flash is probably going to have to trick Eddie or force Eddie to help him, which means he might start going after Iris. Iris would be the way to do that. That's a very classic Reverse Flash thing, threatening to kill the wife or girlfriends of the Flash over the years. So with that in mind, here's my big question for you guys. What do you think that Eobard Thawne's plan is for Eddie Thawne? I think I've said it before, but what I think the show is moving towards is like a big WTF moment whereby Eddie Thawne will have a falling out with Barry Allen, slowly sowing the seeds for Eddie to become a villain in a future season. Whether that's season 2, season 3, we have no idea. There's still a whole bunch of stuff that hasn't happened this season. The Reverse Flash still has all these metahumans that he can unleash on Team Flash, including Gorilla Grodd. That's not for another 2 episodes though. Next week is called The Trap, so they're going to try and set a trap for the Reverse Flash. Clearly, I don't think anyone expects it to go well. Be sure to subscribe to get that video. What's going to happen next is I'm going to post my non-spoilery Avengers Age of Ultron review. Don't worry, I'll post a spoilery version like after the movie comes out worldwide, after May 1st. Whole lot of science, bro. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So whenever I do post that video, please use spoiler tags if you're seeing it internationally and you're going to see it before everyone else. While you guys wait for that to drop, you can click here for all my other Marvel Avengers videos. I'll add an annotation as soon as I post the video. And you can click here for all my other Flash videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.